last few days, of course, we've seen exactly how the former royal known as Prince Harry is trying to sort of move the dial, as it were, reinvent himself and remind people, and this is what's been put around by his team, as to why we all fell in love with Harry and why at one point he was in fact more popular than our late monarch. And that is true, in fact, because he obviously got more column inches, people wrote about him more, and what do you expect of a monarch who's been on the throne for 70 years? She understood that, but as long as the monarchy was popular, she wasn't too bothered. She'd had her time in the limelight, as she often pointed out. It's not about me, it's about the individual. What a woman, absolutely. Now, what's interesting here is, as you know, Prince Harry is trying to reevaluate himself, literally, the midlife crisis, hitting 40 recently, and trying to decide which direction he now wishes to go in. And this is proving rather difficult for him. But with bills to pay and money to keep rolling in to sustain the lifestyle that Meghan's become very much accustomed to, well, the team around him have hit upon this new idea. Let me explain. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you so much today. How are you keeping? You all right? I'm not bad, thank you. And as ever, thank you so much for joining me. Nice to have your company. I'm just shading. There's a bit of spitting. I'm just shading out here, yeah. Do you know that expression, spitting? Rain, sorry. Well, these Yorkshire things we have to explain to people. You never know, do you? All of our sayings, don't we? In America, you call it, I think, garbage. We call it rubbish, trash can, that sort of thing. Everybody has a different thing, don't they? Thinking of trash can, I've just thought of Top Cat. Who remembers that? Used to love Top Cat, didn't you? Benny, all of those people. Officer Dribble, did you watch that? I love Top Cat. Yes, I think we all wanted to live a little bit like Top Cat, didn't we? Yes, the undisputable Top Cat. Gosh, where am I going with that? Back as ever to your royal story of the day. Do you think I need another coffee out my flask? I think I do, don't I? Yes. Now, Prince Harry, as you know, literally this month he's releasing the paperback edition of his best-selling book, Spare. It depends on which way you look at it, There's so much sort of stories and sort of tissue of lies written around it, really, about how much he's made. It's rubbish. No book makes 26 million, trust me. You just don't get those returns. But the media will put anything they want to placate these people. Now, if you cast your mind back, of course, Prince Harry had a 4-book deal with Penguin Random House. And what's fascinating about this is, of course, he said, didn't he, that he would only release a book once. Sadly, the demise of our wonderful monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, had, taken. And of course, now that has happened 2 years down the line. So you see, in order to rehabilitate himself, this is the idea that Penguin, and remember, they have an investment in the remaining 3 books, They know nothing will be as big as Spare, but they don't really care. It's money, it's profile. Now, the idea that they think that they've hit upon, and apparently he's itching and finds this quite nice to do, is something that the British monarchy can't do themselves, and that is write a book about a former family member. The biggest family member in the world is, of course, our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth. And Harry apparently is kind of invested in the idea of writing a book, along with pictures never seen before, about his golden memories of his late grandmother. Now, when you think about it, this, in effect, is a big, big book. Everybody would want to know some of the inner secrets, as long as he kept it respectful and clean. But you see, publishers don't want that. They want fallouts, disagreements, maybe even little sort of tete-a-tetes with his late mother, Princess Diana. Either way, this is now the developing story coming out of the publishing world, because simply Harry does either have to come up with something or literally give some of the remaining money back. They do pay in advance for these things. Now, this would make it's a very tipping point, this, isn't it? Because if he did the right thing, people might like him a little bit more and a little bit kinder towards him. If he does anything more salacious like Spare, truly, this will be the end of him. People will read it, but for all the wrong reasons. What do you think he's going to do? As ever, I'd love to know in the comments below. And if you can, please like and share. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.